say I don't feel.
I feel the same. Don't worry. Let's go for it. Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Entrepreneurs Live Show. And we are back with Natalie Joel on the Healthy Entrepreneur. So sorry about that, guys. I apologize. It's one of those days where everything is just not working for us. So I'm going to be giving over to Natalie today, and she is going to be leading us into an awesome short session. And this is going to be amazing. I just want to share with you guys an update. As you know, we started last week with a challenge with Natalie. Me and my big mouth, my socks and my shoes is not fitting into it. And I decided to take on a challenge to change.
Sorry, Davi, you haven't
Take,
recorded.
no, it doesn't record, it goes live.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so we are busy with the challenge with Natalie. We're busy changing our lives. And just to give you an update, myself and Leonie have lost both about 2 kilograms so far in the last week. And we're expecting a lot more. Natalie has actually shown us that eating this method is actually healthy for you, better for you. And the weird part is I'm eating less, feeling more full, and I'm feeling better, except now for being ill. But Natalie, thank you for that. Thank you for starting the journey with us. And of course, we will be updating it over the next 50 weeks with the people. So Natalie, the floor is all yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And Davi, I hope you feel better soon. Not pleasant feeling.
Thank you so much.
Flu and everything else that's involved. I won't even say. It just made you go from strength and just get better. I decided today to talk about banting because people not in South Africa don't really know what banting is. Banting was popularized by Professor Tim Noakes when he suddenly noticed. Tim Noakes is a sports scientist and amazing runner. And he does marathons and ultra marathons. And he noticed when he was getting, I think in his late 50s or early 60s, he noticed that he was running and he was finding it harder and harder to run. And lo and behold, he started gaining weight and he couldn't understand because he'd written books on the law of running and he'd done everything and he just could not get this weight shifted. He came across, by some odd reason, he came across people who had written a book about running and exercise. And it was low carb, and he decided he's going to try it. But meanwhile, he had also suddenly discovered the most terrible thing. With all his running, he has suddenly become diabetic. And he thought, how can that be? How can I, who is the fittest man around, so to speak, I do everything that you're told to do, keep the carbs up and everything like that, keep all the time getting your energy going when you're running. And here I am, I've got diabetes. No, this does not make sense. I hope I've got this right, Professor Noakes.
Yeah.
But from what I understand. And he fortuitously came across this book, which was written, and he found out about the low carb and he tried it and he lost the weight and he couldn't believe it. So he got together with a few other people, John Proudfoot, Sally Ann Creed, a few other people, and they wrote a book called The Real Meal Revolution. And they decided to call it banting, this low carb. Now, to get back to what banting is, in the 1800s, there was a very good carpenter who was also the undertaker to the Queen. His name was William Banting. William Banting, in his words, he wasn't a huge eater, but he was getting fatter and fatter and fatter. He used to row on the Thames trying to lose weight. He was exercising like crazy and the weight was not going. He found he couldn't walk up and downstairs. He had to put up a foot. I know, I was there as well. Put up a foot, drag the other one and pull yourself up and then go down backwards downstairs because he couldn't walk down the stairs like this. He had to battle going downstairs. Then he started losing his hearing and he thought, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, everybody says to him, William, you need to exercise more and eat less. And he thought, how much more exercise am I supposed to do? And he was doing all the carb diet that everybody was telling him to do. He got nowhere. So what happened was he started losing his hearing. He went to an ENT guy, ear, nose, and throat specialist, Dr. Harvey. And Dr. Harvey said to him, I think the reason you're losing your hearing is because you're going deaf. From the fat in your ears is blocking the sound. And he decided to put him onto a different way of eating to help him lose the weight. And he had just come back from a trip to Paris where he'd heard people talking about this low carb way of eating. And he put it onto this way of eating, and he could not believe. He actually kept a chart of his weight loss that he did and how much he lost, not just with weight, but his girth reduced around the waist, 12.5 inches. And he was a short man.
Wow.
So 12.5 inches, I'm not quite sure how much that is in centimeters, but it's 12.5 inches.
That's
about
a lot.
this. It's a lot. And he was so impressed. Of course, everybody said to him, you can't do this. You can't eat this way of eating. It's not sustainable. It's not worth it, blah, 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 all the nonsense. But he put it on. He was so impressed by how his life turned around. His hearing came back. He could walk up and down. He could start being able to tie his shoelaces. So he wrote a book called, I forgot what it's called, but it was, I'll tell you what it was called. I actually printed it out yesterday. It was the law, the law of, the letter of corpulence, of corpulence. Letter of corpulence, which to translate in today's English is the Banting letter on losing, on being overweight and losing weight. So the Professor Notes actually wrote, he published an English version that somebody had done that was translated into modern English. So basically the bottom line was he found that he was eating less and he was satisfied and he was losing the weight. So he became normal weight and he kept it off. So he actually opened clinics to help people sustain it. And he was mocked, he was put down, the medical field didn't like him, but he continued with it, and he gave out this letter of corpulence to people free, the first 2 editions.
Wow.
And then the third one, he started charging. So he was the first person, so to speak, who did the Banting diet. So it isn't as it is today because they didn't know scientifically as much as they do nowadays, but it was a long way towards it. Basically, it was stopping the sugar and stopping the processed foods and the highly processed gluten, grains, and that type of thing. So his fat intake was very much also high, and his carb intake was very low, and he managed to keep it off. He's got a 10-year documented period of sustained weight loss. And if you think about it, most of us will go on a diet and we'll lose 20 kilos.
Yes.
And within 6 months, 25, 30, 40 kilos is back. But the interesting thing is, as you're learning, that with this way of eating, we are able to sustain the food. We lose our cravings for the carbohydrates and the processed foods. Because it is a craving. We are addicted to sugar and we are addicted to the processed food, especially if you've got a tummy, which I had. You have metabolic syndrome. When you have metabolic syndrome, we are addicts. Hi, I'm Natalie and I'm a sugar addict. That's what I am. I can't have sugar because I know that it will trigger it and I want to have it again. So his previous diet was excessively high in carbohydrates. He lowered, possibly halved his carb intake and replaced it mainly with protein. Well, we know nowadays that too much protein is a problem, but it was better than all those carbohydrates he was having. And he lost between 1.5 to 2.5 kilos a month, which is incredible.
Wow.
So over 12 months, he lost 23 kilos, 50 pounds, and he never put it on again.
That's amazing.
That is absolutely amazing. So when Professor Nose decided to push this way of eating, they decided to call it Banting, because Banting is a beautiful word. And also in the English dictionary, because of him, they had the thing Banting after him. So they all decided, the people who wrote the Real Meal Revolution, they were going to use the word Banting. Do you bant? Are you a banter? Are you doing Banting? And it's beautiful. It fits everything. So Banting basically incorporates low carb and keto. And I am a fanatical banter, and that's me. And it's worked. 60 kilos down and holding. So I'd like to start to show you how I was 5 years ago, and I have managed to hold it off since then.
Oh, wow. Well done, Natalie.
Thank you.
That is really a major achievement. Honestly, I just have to say that you know, seeing and hearing how you've changed your life and why you do it. Because a lot of people do it because they just want to show off their body. You actually did it because you want to change your life and have a life. So, Natalie, congratulations on that. I just have to congratulate you on that. Very
Okay.
inspirational.
Yeah, I found it was so amazing, and so few people know about it that I actually, as I mentioned before, I have become a banting coach and a keto coach because
Wow.
people don't realize that it is sustainable and it's very delicious and it's very filling, and you can find virtually anything. You can bantingize anything virtually that you
Yes.
like to make it food that will be healthy and wholesome for you, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's the best thing. I'm surprised with it. Coming from a background where we've tried a lot of different diets and different things to do. We've even been with the paleo diet, and everybody said to us, eat all this meat. Being the person who I am and being a sick person, it became very difficult for me to eat all those meats. And now we're looking at this list that I'm getting from you, and I'm like, but this is things I love, and it's going to make me healthy. So kudos. I'm excited for that,
How am I for you, Darby, and for Leonie? Yes.
and it's going to be awesome. I'm very honest with you. I am excited beyond words.
Right. That's the way to be. To be excited about what we do. It just gives us that energy to continue with whatever we're doing, to be excited, to be positive about things we do in life. It just puts a whole different outlook. It takes the drudge out of things, and it just
Yes,
makes life such fun.
awesome. And Natalie, we've got some messages for you. We've got Leonie
Okay.
saying so many people don't notice more what you eat. I'm glad you're telling them. That's an awesome point because more and more people need to know about that. Then also, Maggie is saying awesome information. Agreed with Leonie. It's not how much you eat, but what you eat and how you eat. Hello, David.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Maggie.
Hi,
And
Maggie. Hi,
then we've
Leonie.
also got Leonie saying again, you choose life, Natalie. That's awesome. And Maggie is sharing a testimonial with us saying she's also lost about 25 kilograms doing banting. Best
And yes,
program ever. That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing with us, ladies.
thank you.
Awesome, Natalie. Tell me, would you like to share anything else with the people today? Or would you like to keep it for next week?
Next week is fine. I just like to say thank you for listening. And if you want to speak to me about it, you can message me. I can give you a quick 15 minutes talk explaining exactly what banting is. If you would like more details, I am available and look forward to seeing you all next week.
Awesome, awesome. And guys, remember you can get all Natalie's detail on our platform. If you can't get it, get in contact with us. We will gladly give it to you. This is awesome. You cannot dare to miss speaking to her. Natalie is not somebody that's going to try and sell you into something. She's going to educate you into changing your life. I mean, I wish you could have been with us in our session that we had with her last week. Amazing. It's very few people that can get me speechless, and I had a few of those moments. So, Natalie, thank you so much, and thank you for caring about people because that's a special gift. Not everybody can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week, Tuesday, 1 o'clock again. And Natalie will be sharing some awesome stuff with us. And remember, if you need to contact her, let me know and we will give you the contact details. Natalie and everybody, have a beautiful